Hey, yo, what's going on? It's your boy, Man in the Wild. Just in my thoughts about what you see up there on the screen. Given this whole George Floyd situation blowing the fuck up. And making sure that the race that's been created is discussed on a mass scale. Because there's a bunch of ways to come at this topic of black man in America. But I do want to start off by saying that anybody who is watching this, listening to it, as this video proceeds, you cannot enter it with your heart. You understand? You can't enter it with your emotions, not even a little. Because if there ever becomes a point in what I say, there's like a fire that burns. That fire was given to you. Making sure that you don't really understand, who you really are. You understand? And because the black man was definitely created, by the elite. From the label to, the treatment to what, the people wear to what the people do and all of that. It was created for you. Right? And falling in line with whatever's created for you, make sure that you're contained in, some kind of box. Some kind of box. And that can't be more true, than when you look at, because the message to the black man in America, was allegedly, written by Elijah Muhammad, who, Pete Buddy out, that's an Asian cat, right? So an Asian dude is writing a book telling you how to be black. And like I said before, and the founder of the nation was a white guy. Everything about him screams Shriners and Freemasonry. But yet still here we have a message to the black man at a time where, the place of the black man needed to be understood. And giving us this type of message, this did not provide any type of independence whatsoever. And that can't be more true when you look at the fact that these motherfuckers got at least 1,000 so acres of land, acres upon acres down in Georgia. Ain't built nary a motherfucking school. What do they have? Any type of community, because the nation really, Farrakhan and them really be talking about that shit, becoming independent, shopping, with your brothers and all that shit, brothers and sisters. But in the end, as far as what goes on in the communities and everything, there needs to be a stronger presence amongst each other, spending money and doing business, hospitals, schools, and all of that. But the main people pumping and pushing that shit got all the land to make that shit pop, but is not doing it, have not done it. All them niggas is doing is growing watermelons and shit, for real. Different kinds of fruits and driving it around to local mosques and different markets and shit. But it's like, yo, you got all this land, Farrakhan, and ain't doing a fucking thing with it. Like you, because your words and the money you make and all this shit behind all of it, like, yo, that should be what it is. And then if you add the land Elijah had, because Farrakhan just only got a piece of that shit, it's like double or triple the land. Just paying the back taxes off. So that part of it, let you know that there's some fuckery going on with a message to the black man. But ain't shit shook since then as far as the progress and where you're supposed to go if you're sincere about what you're talking about. Right? So then it comes back to my mind always, where did the black label come from? Who gave you the black label? Why would they give you the black label? Because there's various tones of us, and some light, all the way up to dark, but nobody's black. Right? So just on paper, with this whole black man shit, black woman, black pride, on paper, you're written as a stain. You're written as something that's guilty. And it don't get no plainer than that. Now granted, yeah, there is extreme racism, with the way that people think and the way that people, operate around you and all that shit. But trust me when I say that when you live above that shit, even when motherfuckers try this and try that and however shit goes, it's like your mind is extremely powerful, and that's what you're in control of, whenever you get beyond these labels, and racism and all of that. Now, it's certain shit that is going to be because, everybody's been programmed in this way to think about these issues and that race is a thing. So of course you're going to have to deal with things on a day-to-day and all of that shit. But when it comes to what you control for yourself and what you do, releasing yourself from that magic trick behind the black label, it's a big step. It's a huge step. Excuse me. And you'll see, I don't know if I think I'm gonna probably try and tie it in together, with some number shit. But it's magic. It magically moves the fuck along exactly, what the black life is, what the black man should be, and all of that. So, then it comes back to always, the main perpetuators of race and coming to the defense of black people whenever shit pops off, like your punk ass Benjamin Crumps or, your new Lee Merritts, your old Jesse Jacksons and, Al Sharptons and all them, right? Farrakhan, all these people coming to the aid of black people, right? These motherfuckers know that the race shit is only for the ones that they're speaking to. You know what I'm saying? Because they're only speaking on behalf of themselves, which is the elite. So whenever they're perpetuating all of this shit, right? Whenever they're putting this into your mind, they're making you feel this way and that way. Like, you have to know that this is a master plan that's trying to guide you the fuck to wherever they want you to go. And will use anything and anyone to make that shit shake. With the latest example being, Big Floyd, the landlord. Like allegedly killing the man with the fucking press on badge, nigga. Right? Little top flight security ass dude. Traveling funeral. Nobody speaking ill of the man. Trying to assassinate his character like that, even though there's a lot of assassination little bullets and shit they can use. Bricks laying out in the city for motherfuckers to grab. Mainly white people protesting this shit. It's like it's like everything that's been given to you, black history, black man wise, and all that shit. It's all guiding tactics, man, all the way back to fucking slavery. All the way back to slavery, and because I had did some videos about the slave codes and a couple of what do you want to call it? I think it was slave code violations and all that. Oh yeah, and they were doing some pictures about slavery and how the pictures ain't really pictures. It's like whenever they're on the chopping block, or I mean the slave auction block, it's all cartoons. They don't actually have pictures of them shits. You know what I'm saying? All that type. So back to the slave codes. During the time of the slavery and all of that, allegedly, it was down in Virginia, they had said that, made a law that blacks was marrying too many whites. The free blacks was marrying too many whites. Right, so they had to put an end to that shit. And so it's like my mind goes, okay, well, slavery was supposed to be the most gruesome time, you know, in black history and all of that, right? And my mind goes to how the fuck was anybody free if it's so gruesome like that? Because there would not be one free Negro. I don't give a fuck. If you're telling me that it was that way, there would be no way that any niggas can go around marrying white people. And they'll have to make a law to say that it can't happen, right? It just wouldn't happen. And then also they were saying that they had to make something to where white slaves was running away with black slaves for freedom, right? So it's like slavery wasn't even what the fuck they told you. You know, period. Especially when you look in the Constitution in the 13th Amendment, how it says that slavery shall be abolished except for, I think, like for a punishment of a crime for which the parties duly convicted and all that shit, right? So anybody gets convicted of some shit, it becomes a slave. And they got all these crimes for the state versus people. And the state ain't even a fucking person. So you got a non-person bringing you to court, effectively turning you into a slave whenever you're found guilty. And then the judges get a payment of the shit whenever you're found guilty of shit. So it's like slavery is going on in an extreme capacity right now. Always has been, right? But again, coming back to, you know, how the slavery story and all that shit fucks with your mind. I mean, shit. Simply put, they're just trying to guide you in a direction to make you feel inferior. You know, period. You know, and the whole time, this was darker skinned people's land to begin with anyway. You know, which adds another layer to the whole how the fuck did they get control. But, you know, at the same time, it's the elite and then everybody else. You know, and it just so happens that the code, you know, fits that shit. The black life does not matter. Right? It doesn't. You know, and it's like, not, man, the fact that people can't even look me in the eyes sometimes like that, because I had said it a while back on my shit to my peoples, like, man, I ain't calling myself black anymore. You know, and I just hope you get the knowledge and do the same. You know, and people, I know for, man, 100% certainty, people took it as I was on some coon shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, not giving a fuck about, you know, my peoples. You know, which is the exact opposite. It's the exact opposite. I want what's best for everybody that, you know what I'm saying, that wants the best for me type shit. So the fact that I'm releasing myself from the label has nothing to do with what I feel in my heart. You know, it makes no difference about what I do with myself like that. It's just a matter of releasing myself from the fuckery, from as much bullshit as possible. You know, because everything that's associated with, like, I mean, it's guilty by association and all that, right? Because whenever you think about just words in general, what they mean and what they lead to and all that shit, they mean something. You know, each letter means something. So when all of this shit is formulated, right, and then we come up to a whole group of people are considered black. Like, black. That in and of itself is disrespectful. Like, for real. Especially when motherfuckers ain't even black. Man, there's some dark people out there that almost, they try, but it's not like that. So the fact that that's the label that you're given and what the word actually means itself, I said, man, that's rude. And not only that, they got you proud to be the shit, thinking that it means something to be black in a positive way. Because people want to say, like, how do we fix this? How do we fix that? In the black communities and all that black. And it's like, well, honestly, for me, first off, man, stop associating yourself with that shit. Because what's wrong with, what's wrong with us is the inside the box mentality has overtaken, life. And so behind that, we end up falling into the same traps and shit that they're setting for us all the time, every step of the way. So once like I said, with that step of releasing yourself from certain labels and releasing yourself from certain tricks and shit that they got set up, that's when real change is able to happen. Like, real shit is able to transpire because you have real thoughts now. Because thinking about black, I mean, it's not going to get you anywhere, obviously, because you see, it's like, as a whole, that shit crumbles a lot. And it's like, of course there's people that fuck it up. Of course there's people that do this, but just as a whole, like, when you just look at the pattern of what you see and know, the black life has never mattered. And so now we got all this self-identified shit. We can be who the fuck we want to be. And I, for one, like I said, I don't appreciate being called black. I don't appreciate being called African American. I mean, like I said, the shit is disrespectful. Because I know too much about y'all word game and how the shit goes. Where you want to push us with this thought and that thought. And then, like, go down the line with all of these police killings and police shootings that you see on this CNNs and all that shit. They're all bullshit. Given to you to make sure that you're thinking about this black-white shit. Making sure you in your feelings behind something whenever you see your fellow black man getting gunned down, kneeled on. Like, just know, like, they're able to control, and that's how the fucked up part of the process works. You have all of these events that are going on, that are put in front of your face and all of that, and they're telling you this and telling you that, so you going here, going there, but it's like they put these fake ass events in front of you to get your mind going in a certain direction. And they put just enough bullshit within these stories and all of that, that force you to go to a place in your mind that is outside of logic to believe the shit. Right? So by you doing that, that's what the dumbed down process is. Because like I said with this George Floyd shit, when they put this fucking top flight ass security dude in the front and center of this shit to make sure that everybody stands back, that's a fucking press on badge he had on. Right? It was a press on badge. There's no doubt about it. Just look at the shit. Right? So now you got this motherfucker in the very front for everybody to see. Like I said on the other video, everybody's thinking about George Floyd in the back though. while you're not noticing that there's somebody in front of you who's making sure that they're telling you that they're on fuck shit. You understand? But your mind, again, has to go to a place that is outside of logic to believe that story, because you're looking at that motherfucker and you see that shit. You see that shit, but you're not paying attention because you're listening to the narrative and having your feelings attached to what you think you're seeing. You know, and that's just what it boils down to. I mean, because when you talk to, you know, certain people, they don't want to believe you. They don't think they do think you crazy a little bit, but they know your logic ain't flawed all the way. So it's like, but at the end of the day, you know, you gotta take yourself away from what you've been taught as a child. Take yourself all the way away. You know, and you can do that with anything. With anything. Relationships, you know what I'm saying? Like shit that you like to do, you know, like hobbies and shit. Is it good or bad for you? Type shit. Take a step all the way back and just analyze shit, you know, if you feel like it. And if it's real, it'll come back as real. You know, good shit, keep it moving. And if it's not, then shit, don't make excuses. You know, don't give yourself a dumbass reason to go back to some bullshit. You know, because that's what it ends up being. You know. Yeah, this like I don't know, the fact that we are so far gone, you know, as a group of people, you know, the indigenous, the natives to this land, you know, the fact that we're so far gone, it's like, cause you don't know where to start or where to go, you know, because where to start or where to go exists outside the box. You know, somebody want to tell me that rioting and looting and all that shit, man, that's what they in support of. That's what they, you know, they going for and all that shit. Like, bruh, they did that shit back in the 60s and all that. Man, if they tear up enough shit, you know what I'm saying, somebody gonna listen. Like, bro, did Detroit ever recover? Like I'm really like looking back and they would set shit on fire, man. They was fucking shit up. Is anything really different? You know, of course you got a couple motherfuckers in certain positions and all that other shit, but at the end of the day, shit, I mean, that's the elite. You ain't in them positions unless you're elite. And as it stands, it's them against everybody else. You know, so like, yeah, this whole trying to find positive, you know, ways to go and move. You know, it really is a struggle, man. And I ain't gonna front. I saw the struggle with my own eyes, you know, it's like hearing people talk about it and seeing what they was gonna do and how to move. And it's like how with Buddy supporting all the riots and shit, that shit ain't even like, hasn't changed anything. Like anything. You know, motherfuckers need to get their knowledge up and know how to get that paperwork game on point. That's how shit changes. You understand? That's how shit moves in certain directions and all that shit. It's paperwork. And knowing how to say the right things. You understand? Knowing exactly how to, you know, to procedurally, you know, file the shit and all of that and make sure that it moves to the place it's supposed to move to. You know, if enough people understand that part, oh man. Man. But they got us stuck on this, you know, message from a black man shit from an Asian dude that got it from a white dude. The fuck out of here, man. You know, and I could say that in a 100% capacity. You know, so hold on, let me go ahead. I think I'm gonna go ahead and keep this going with the definitions and numbers. Hold on. All right, so now, just the definition of black, right? Characterized by absence of light, darkness, soil stained with dirt, gloomy, deliberately harmful, inexcusable, ill, boding ill, sullen, hostile, right? Without any morality, without any moral quality or goodness, evil, wicked, all that shit, right? You see all these definitions, right? Morbid, marked by disaster and all that, right? So then, see that? So when you get to these numbers, right? When you get to these numbers and you see the magical pattern that these motherfuckers operate under and all that, right? I'm gonna go through kind of quick just because like I don't really want to focus too much on them because I didn't really start this video for that, but it needs to be seen. So you'll see a bunch of these master numbers, 11, 22, 33, all the way up to 111 in this one, right? So you got black and black, 11, okay. You see the black man and dangerous, right? See a black man. Let's see, then both of them is 22. Let me see. A black man is threatening, 66. See, a black man has no excuses. The black man, what is it, is in darkness. Black life is gloomy. Black life is dark. Black life is worthless. Black life is soiled. Black life is stained. And it's funny, soiled and stained ended up being the same letter or the same numbers, adding up to the same thing. I thought that was kind of funny. A black life is evil. Black man is hostile. Lacks goodness. The black life is a disgrace. Black life is to be punished. The black man is a liability on both calculators. All right, unpleasant. What does it say? Black man is unpleasant, and also black life is unpleasant. Because they can't miss. Black life is morbid. When you are giving yourself to this label, this is what you are giving yourself to, because you got to think, man, when it comes to the magical, magical spell game and all that type of shit, I'm pretty sure that we can see that there's a pattern with this shit. So whenever, all of this shit goes on as far as, to black people and whatnot, this is what's behind it. Like, man, it's grotesque. Black life, wicked. Black life and wicked. Because sometimes you see it'll say the is, and sometimes you just add the ampersand, saying, I never get that right. Black man is sullen. Black life is dismal. Black man is pessimism. Black life is imprisonment. Black life is doomed. Doomed. Black man is a slave. 44. That was the last one. All right. So, as it stands and as it goes with this shit here, right? Being proud of being black, like, it doesn't logically make any sense, right? Because the person who gave you this label wants you to fall under all of this shit, right? They want you to fall under all of this shit, yo. Like, you saw all them definitions. I don't think I didn't do one of them, and even did like a couple more just to like, 'cause it went through my thesaurus, like all of it. And all of it is exactly what we, got to deal with, as far as how we're portrayed and all of that type of shit, right? But like I said, when you mentally, rise above certain shit, especially when you're dealing with some type of spell that's intending you harm when you break free from that shit, you know, like I said, you're able to have vision, the type of vision that you'll be able to see some real change options, right? And like I said, on a mass scale, if everybody would grab that shit, man, hey, you really be able to do something. But until then, you know, it's that spinning wheel shit, because in protests don't fucking work. Never have, never will, man. They brought 1 million niggas together, man. What's changed? So yeah, man. Yeah, I hope those that made it to the end of this, you know, you have some type of understanding as to where I'm coming from, man, because like it comes straight from the heart, and also from, you know, knowledge that that has allowed my heart to not be the one that's in the lead. You know, because you can still feel shit, you can still be emotional about shit. Ain't nothing wrong with that. You know, it's just leading with your emotions before you even know what's going on. Like, that shit don't make sense. You know, and then just because you think you see the pattern, you think you know what's been going on, so that's why you lead with it. Right? I mean, that's what's getting us fucked up. So yeah, it is what it is, man. It goes where it goes, man. But hey, I love y'all, man. Stay above the bullshit.